which is going to be real fun because they're covered in frost.
The skills to pay the bills.
Hello everyone, excuse the spooky lighting. I've just got to a job and we're sort of in the middle of winter. Actually, it's very cold. The thermometer on the van went actually down to -6 driving in this morning. But I'm on the job and the sun's not actually come up yet, so I thought I'd do a quick intro to this video. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm working on a roof. I haven't done any videos on that because I've got videos of me doing truss roofs, and it's not particularly interesting, to be honest. Once you've seen one truss roof, you've seen them all. But this one's got gable ends and barge boards. Now, the barge boards that the builder wants in this instance is basically it's an 8x2, re-sawn down 35mm, and it sits flush with the back of the brickwork. But half of this bungalow that we're doing is featherboarded. So the gable end I'm going to show you is the gable end that's featherboarded. Now, obviously, normally the featherboarding would go on first and the barge would clip over the featherboard, but because we want the roof to go on first, we want to put the barge board on first. So what I'm going to do is just show you how I basically go about putting out some noggins. I mean, normally they send gable ladders out with the truss roofs, but we don't use them because they're not, we have to end up knocking them apart and adapting them to the size that we want. There's no soffit on this barge board, but I do need to leave it out, you know, a certain amount to allow the featherboarding to basically poke up behind it. But as I said, I'll be doing the featherboarding at a later date. So I'll just let the sun come up a little bit, see how many layers of clothes I've got in the van, because I have to get wrapped up warm because, as I said, it's really cold. And then we'll get up on the scaffold and I'll show you what's going on. Right, we've got a bit of daylight on the job and I've got every single bit of clothing I've got in the van. I've got about 5 layers on, and my gloves. These fingerless gloves are really great. Obviously can't have full finger gloves because we need a bit of dexterity in our fingers. Anyway, it's pretty bracing, it's pretty cold. I know it's not the coldest place in the world. I had a message in one of my comments from one of my viewers who's from Calgary, said it gets down to, from Canada, said it gets down to like -26, but it's a very moist heat here in the UK. Very moist, cold here in the UK, so it feels like you're in a sort of a freezing tumble dry. But anyway, blah, blah, blah. Let's have a look at this gable end, see what we've got going on here. So this is the gable end that's going to be featherboarded. It's got inch batten going on, well, obviously got a vapour barrier going on, inch batten, and then about 35mm makeup of featherboarding. And we don't get the ladders sent. Normally the truss company, I put the roof on, you can see here. Normally the truss company would send out, they send out gable ladders, but we don't have them because invariably they're not quite the right size, and we can make, when doing it this way, we can make it whatever size we like. So we've got, I think as I said, we've got, and I think it's down here somewhere. Yeah, we've got our barge boards here, which are 8x2, which have been re-sawn down 35mm. So then what I do with these noggins is I get these noggins in at 6x2. And what that basically means is we get a nice wide spread of our fixings. So obviously, being natural timber, it's more likely to cup. So we get a nice wide spread of fixings, and that bottom sort of 2 inches will hang off the bottom of this noggin. And obviously what that will allow us to do is tuck our featherboard up underneath it. So what I've basically done here is pretty simple, is plumbed a line up, and you can see that line there. Plumbed that line up, that's flush with the back of with the face of the blockwork, obviously back to that truss, and that's just screwed in. But what I've had to do here, as I said, the makeup of my featherboarding and batten is 60mm, so I've added that 60mm on here. If it's on the back gable, well, that's brickwork, I'll just cut it off to this level because there's no barge on this, so there's no soffit on this barge, it's just the back of it is flush with the front of the brickwork. So again, pretty simply done exactly the same at the top here with my long level, plumbed the line up. There you can see what got measured it back to the truss and added 60mm, and done exactly the same on the front here, look. So you can see that runs in nicely. So what I've done next is put a line up, so it gives me a nice straight line on those 3 points, and we're putting these noggins in here at 800. So the first one's obviously at the bottom here, then we've got 800, 1600, 2.4, so and so on. Rather than just cut all of these noggins the same size, I like to put the line up because obviously this truss could be slightly bowed, the brickwork could be slightly out, so putting this line up basically means that we get a really nice straight barge board. So simply all I'm going to do now is measure back, measure each time. Look, I'll get my tape up so I can do it, not drop it. Just really simply Oh, got the shakes. Put the tape back to the mark, read it off against the line, and cut all those. I'll measure them all first, mark them on the end of here, then cut them all and screw them up. As you can see, I've put these couple of bits of CLS just across the top here, fairly standard stuff, just keeps this nicely in line so it's not flicking up. Once they're all in, obviously we can have a look at getting the barge board set up, cutting some plumb cuts. We're going to put biscuits in the plumb cuts there in the joint to hold those together, and then hopefully someone's going to be here by the time I get to do that and help me put them on. That's it. Lovely. Just put that mark around there. And the timber, look, it's nice and frosty. Lovely. So that's all of those noggins cut now, sort of placed in position. We can just go along and screw them in. What I've done is just pre-drilled this rafter to make it easy. We've got these big 6x100 screws we're putting in. Look, nice layer of frost on that, so yes, my thumb's a bit cold, but anyway, so let's get all those screwed up now. Don't need the line, might as well get that out of the way. Absolutely, said it loads of times before, I love working to lines. They're so simple but dead straight, unless it's windy, but fantastic little bits of kit. Right. Excellent. That's it. Look at that. So now you can see all of those noggins in a lovely straight line all the way up there. Oh, can you see there? Yep. So what I'm going to do now, while I'm on sort of in noggin mode, I've done that. There's 3 gable ends here. There's this one. And then there's one on the front. As you can see, I've already done that one. So again, while I'm set up for doing noggins, I'll go round, put the noggins on the back one, and then the next one we'll come to is getting these barges ready, which is going to be real fun because they're covered in frost. The moment has arrived. We're going to get these barge boards on. I've got my glamorous assistant with me here, so I'll just quickly show you. Barge boards are here. Scraped all the frost off them, so that's not got all wet and horrible. Just put a simple plumb cut on it, and I put a couple of biscuits in there just to try and sort of stabilise this joint a little bit. We are going to put finials over here, so we're not going to get my knickers too much in a twist about this joint, because as many of you know, I'm sure this timber will probably open up and when it shrinks. So yeah, so we're going to basically bring it down here. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, put these bits of CLS on top just to keep this noggin up. Kept it up, that's intentional, kept up an inch or so there, so we can just butt the barge board straight up to there, and then all I've got to do is my assistant will be on one end, I'll be on this end, get it halfway on that central noggin, tack a nail in it just temporarily, make sure it fits okay, and then we can screw it up.
beautiful. The skills to pay the bills. Yep. Yes. Real nice, straight off the saw. It's not when the hip fits first time. That's brilliant, excellent. Just quickly show you up here. I know I said it didn't matter that much, but look at that. Oh, straight off the saw, super duper. So what I do now is I'll take some measurements. I think it's 30 mil and then 135 mil down. I'll measure those properly and then we just put 5x80 screws all the way in there. So yeah, that's brilliant. The only other job I've got to do, which I'll show you, is cut this bit batten and fix it into this mark here. Boom. That's beautiful. Ah, nice. Right, that's that all done. Let's quickly show you. Barge is on. I say I'm going to do another part to this video. I'm not going to show anything with the rafter feet. This has got extended rafter feet on because the builder wanted sort of a chunkier rafter foot rather than just cutting off, you know, what is that, 100 mil or so. So we're putting, I think they're 6x2s we're going to bolt on the outside. I'm not going to do a video on that, but I will come back and do another video showing how I put this featherboarding up behind what I've done here. But anyway, it's all done now. I've ripped this bit batten down, you see, so the bricklayers now can literally just put their block work up to this line here, nice and easy for them. Obviously, once the bricklayers have bricked in, they basically brick round these noggins, so that'll make that whole lot really super strong, give it loads of support and tie the whole thing in. And then when that's done, I can just unscrew that. What that does, it gives me nice 2 inches of cover for when I'm cutting I don't have to be millimetre perfect when I cut the pitch on the top of each of my featherboards. So, yep, I think just a little, I don't know if it's been a little video or not, but just a short video to show how I go about doing a barge board before the featherboarding's put on. So I hope you sort of found it vaguely interesting, and I said I'll come back and do another part when I'm doing this boarding. So as always, thanks for watching.